Missouri is coming off one of the best seasons in program history. The Tigers finished 2023 at 11-2 with a big Cotton Bowl victory over Ohio State and finished ranked in the top 10 in the entire country. If the 12-team playoff had been implemented in 2023, the Tigers most likely would have made it with that 10-2 regular season. Entering 2024, that 12-team playoff will be implemented, which leads us to the question, will Missouri make the college football playoff this season? Well, you take a look at who they've got coming back, you take a look at their schedule, and you take a look at the way Eli Drinkwitz is hitting that recruiting trail, and it looks very, very possible. Let's look at this team, guys. Missouri, guys. M-I-Z-Z-O-U. This team is absolutely killing it, and what a rise they've had. You know, under Eli Drinkwitz, it had been just mediocre. And they entered 2023, and they were loaded with talent. They were like, this has to be the year that we break through. And I think a lot of people expected Missouri to have a pretty big season, but not as big as they had. 10-2, only losses are by 10 points to LSU and by 9 points to Georgia, playing both teams very, very close down into the final minute of the fourth quarter. You take a look at their roster now. This team returns a lot of talent. We'll start on offense. Continuity. Continuity is the big thing for the Tigers, right? For years under Eli Drinkwitz, it was like different offensive coordinator almost every single year, right? So much uncertainty. They never really could find a consistent quarterback play. They've got all of that now entering this next season. Brady Cook returning at quarterback after throwing for over 3,300 yards and 21 touchdowns, also adding 8 rushing touchdowns. Luther Burden, his top target, is coming back. Over 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2023. And they've got Kirby Moore returning as offensive coordinator. He was the reason for Missouri's resurgence on the offensive side of the ball. They averaged over 32 points per game in 2023. So you've got your offensive coordinator back. The schemes aren't changing. You've got a veteran quarterback under center, which is huge for any team. You've got one of the top wide receivers in the SEC. And then the Tigers just absolutely dominated the transfer portal when it came to the offensive side of the ball. They added Nate Noel from Appalachian State at running back. You know, they're losing Cody Schrader at running back. It's a huge loss. Well, they're replacing him with Noel. They're replacing him with Marcus Carroll from Georgia State. The two big-time Sun Belt running backs. Carroll had over 1,300 yards in 2023. So both great running backs. They added Caden Green to bolster that offensive line in from Oklahoma. And that's just a handful of players. They added Courtney Crutchfield, one of the top wide receivers in the country, recruiting him out of Arkansas, beating the Razorbacks, stealing him from their home state. He's coming to Missouri, which is massive. Take a look at the defense. Last year, we knew Missouri was going to have a strong defense. They returned like their top 9 tacklers. They were loaded with so much talent, so much experience. You expected it to be strong, and they absolutely were. But now they lose all those guys, right? They lose a lot of that talent, a lot of those veterans. They lose their defensive coordinator, which hurts. Losing Blake Baker to LSU, losing him within the conference. Not ideal. But still a lot of talent and experience to be had there. And the new defensive coordinator, I think, was a pretty solid hire by Eli Drinkwitz. The new DC in Columbia is Corey Batoon, coming in from South Alabama. He's like a 30-year coaching veteran, bounced around all throughout his career. But with the Jaguars, he consistently improved their defense in the Sun Belt. And last year, South Alabama finished 15th in the nation in total defense and had 22 forced turnovers. It's pretty dang good. Turnovers are massive. Top 15 defense, I don't care what conference you're playing in, is pretty dang impressive. Now he's coming in charge of a Tigers defense that still has a little bit of returning production, but added a lot through the recruiting trail, both through the high school level and the transfer portal. You've got the #1 defensive player in the country coming to Missouri. Think about that. Think about that. That is a testament to how great Eli Drinkwitz has been on the recruiting trail. The #1 defensive player in the nation, defensive end Williams Nwaneri, is coming in to Missouri. That's massive. Then they add linebacker Corey Flack coming in from Miami. Darius Smith, the linebacker from Georgia. Toriano Pride, a 4-star cornerback from Clemson. Chris McClellan, the defensive lineman from Florida. And a handful of others that we're not even going to list. Overall, Eli Drinkwitz had a top 30 recruiting class just from the high school level, also landed one of the better transfer portal classes in the country as well. So what Missouri lost, they replaced, and they will be just as good, if not better, at those positions. This is a very, very scary team. And when you look at Missouri's schedule, it makes it even more scary to realize that the Tigers are absolutely a college football playoff contender. Many have the Tigers pegged as a top 10 team to start the season in early preseason polls, including ourselves. We have Missouri, I believe, at number 10 in our way to early top 25. And you look at the schedule, they don't leave the state of Missouri until October 5th when they go to Texas A&M. So the entire month of September, they are playing in Missouri. Granted, many of those are against cupcake non-conference teams, but still, they don't have a road game until October 5th at Texas A&M. The non-conference is a cakewalk. Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College at UMass. Toughest game there is going to be Boston College, and that game, again, is in Missouri. You would expect them to go 4-0 in the non-conference slate. They do have some tough games at Texas A&M. They host Auburn out of the West. They have to go to Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama, and they do host Oklahoma. And I will say this, maybe early prognostications, you expect Alabama to beat them. So that's one loss for Missouri there. Maybe you say they lose in College Station to a new look, Aggies team now led by Mike Elko. There's 2 losses there. That Oklahoma game, the Sooners, the newcomer now to the SEC, on November 9th in Columbia, that could be the difference maker in whether or not Missouri makes the college football playoff or not. If the Tigers already have 2 losses coming into that Oklahoma game, a loss there probably eliminates them. Probably not going to get in with 3 losses. A win there, especially if the Sooners are being legitimate contenders, could be enough to give the Tigers the boost they need, maybe clinch a 10-win season, which could be enough to slip in to the college football playoff. Again, that's the beauty of the 12-team playoff, guys. 1 loss does not end your season. Nowadays, 2 losses maybe does not end your season. 3 might put you out of playoff contention. Again, depends on who it's to, what the rest of the country is looking like, things like that. But the Oklahoma game is going to be massive. But again, the schedule, for the most part, very, very favorable. And again, we're not predicting. We were saying many might pick them to lose Bama, maybe A&M. Who knows? That's not a foregone conclusion. Missouri proved they could contend with anybody last year. They could play with anybody last year. They're not scared of anybody. They're not scared to play on the road. I think at least a 9-win season feels inevitable. I think anything less than a 9-win season would be disappointing for the Tigers this year. But the schedule lines up very, very well for them to at least hit that mark, maybe get above it. And I think if they hit 10 wins, they're in. 11, they're definitely in. They've got the talent to do it. They've got the schedule to do it. They've got the coach to do it. Eli Drinkwitz proving that he can win those big games and he can deliver in Columbia after a mediocre start to his career there. The Tigers, guys, they are roaring into 2024. Maybe you were sleeping on them last year. You better not be sleeping on them now. They are truly college football playoff contenders. So guys, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to check out everything down in the description below over on our website, thegridironexpert.com, and continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any future videos that we have here on the channel. We are producing nonstop college football content for you. Next week, we're going to be diving into Super Bowl content. We're going to talk about coaching changes soon, later on in February. We're going to be diving into schedule previews, including a deep, in-depth schedule preview over your Missouri Tigers. So if you want nonstop college football content at a place where the college football season never ends, never dies, this is the place for you. Go check it out. Again, like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, hit that notification bell. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.